defeated. And that is the American way. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep your head on a swivel, watch your six, hold the line, never give up, never give in, and stay frosty.
On January 6, about 1 million people showed up because they were extremely upset with the outcome of the election.
We want an honest election, we want an honest count, and we want honest people.
We begin tonight with one of the biggest nationwide days of protest since the killing of George Floyd in police custody.
It's very hypocritical. We're all locked down. Suddenly, please, protest, riot.
Our temple of democracy was attacked by insurrectionists.
What BLM and Antifa did is actually much more akin to insurrection. January 6th was a trespassing incident that got out of hand.
And they're terrorists, domestic terrorists.
She was executed, she was assassinated, she was murdered.
The January 6th defendants are being denied their basic human rights.
This is an attempt to criminalize conservatives.
Just because some talking head calls it an insurrection doesn't mean it's one, unless there's a campaign to make it look like one.
It's finally here, Election Day 2020, but with an unprecedented early voter turnout nationwide and many lining up to vote today, the final countdown could lead to a drawn-out race to declare a winner.
I don't think you can find an example of comparing campaigns between two different presidential candidates that could be more different than 2020. Let's look at the difference between Joe Biden and the incumbent, my former boss, President Trump. You had a man who continued what he had done in 2016, which is travel the nation, fill stadia at the drop of a hat like that.
They all wouldn't make it in, but they would stand in line for hours. Trump hats, shirts, make America great again, keep America great.
Joe Biden's strategy was to stay out of the public view as much as possible. Don't let them see his frail condition.
It was not a campaign. How can they just sit back and do local interviews? It didn't make sense.
The night of the election, everybody was watching television. They saw that President Trump was in a huge lead.
You may have gone to bed thinking this election was headed one way, and then you woke up and you saw things were different and maybe trending increasingly in another direction.
How is that? Where did that magic tally of votes that reverses the results arrive from?
Suitcases of ballots being pulled out from under tables and being counted after supposedly a water main break.
We have poll watchers being escorted out of the building as counting is being happened. We have people locked out of the building because they're from the wrong party. We just want those questions to be answered.
We want an honest election, we want an honest count, and we think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation.
Well, every candidate has a right to make sure that the electoral process is transparent, fair, and honest, and that the counting is honest.
That's a big story, potential election fraud. They didn't give it a chance. They didn't investigate. They didn't bother looking when they said it baseless. Well, they never went looking for a basis.
Lie after lie after lie about the election being stolen, no evidence.
The mainstream media was so intent on declaring Joe Biden the winner.
The legacy media tried to delegitimize any question with regards to just verifying the integrity of that election.
A lot of the same voices who were saying that Trump had no right to question the 2020 electoral results were the same voices saying that he was an illegitimate president in the first place.
He knows he's an illegitimate president.
Russians intervened in the election to help Donald Trump win the presidency.
Do you think that it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment?
Long past time.
President Trump has just been impeached on both Article 1, abuse of power, and on Article 2, obstruction of Congress.
The whole mainstream media narrative on President Trump has proven itself untrustworthy.
It's obviously hideously unfair what the mainstream media says about the right, says about conservatives.
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
Do you think that people who support President Trump and his immigration policies are racist?
Anyone who supports this is supporting racism.
Here we are today where they're using race to divide us and completely separate us. and we're all sick and tired of it and reject it.
Ashley was my first child. She was a happy baby. As a child, she did gymnastics, karate, horseback riding, motorbike riding. She was funny. Always had a patriotic spirit, and when she was 17, she signed up and left when she was 18 for the Air Force. She did 4 tours of duty in the Middle East.
I had been working at a nuclear power plant for 10 years. I turned around and there's this little 5'2", 110-pound girl standing in front of me. And we just hit it off and clicked. We moved out to California, and then we started our business. We live at the beach. We were loving our life. She called me and she said, "Hey, we're getting married on Tuesday." I think it's just because she wanted to be Babbitt. I was so proud of her. I was proud to do so.
Ashley was an avid supporter of Trump, and that's why she was in D.C. exercising her American-born right to protest.
Ken is from St. Mary's, Georgia. He was a country boy. Always been and always will be. He joined the military at a late age. That was his life. That's when I met him, was when he was in the Army. He kept telling everybody it was my cooking, my Cajun food. We got married not even a year later. We have 4 children. With him being retired, we're used to being around each other 24/7. We have a marriage that a lot of people wish they would have. Ken's never been there before to the Capitol. It is our legal right to question anyone and everyone.
Chris and I met online. Our first date, we met at Texas Roadhouse, where he brought me the biggest bouquet of flowers I've ever received in my life. We've been together for 4.5 years now. Chris has spent the last 20 years running successful automotive businesses. In 2007, Chris was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and squamous cell carcinoma. We went to Jan 6 to support Donald Trump.
I was born in Newburgh, New York. We have a big Italian family, a lot of Sundays together. I was always big into sports, mainly football. Eventually ended up pursuing a career as a doctor. That was going well, but I met my wife while I was doing that and decided that I wanted to start a family. So she's my rock and gives me the strength I need. I didn't want to go back to medical school, so I decided to try out the tattoo business. January 6th was supposed to be one of the most epic, peaceful protests in recent history.
The protest itself was established to say out loud that they disagreed with the outcome of the election. They felt they had ample information and evidence that demonstrated that it was corrupt and fraudulent.
The 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump!
And so President Trump and everyone that attended the rally at the Ellipse, they were talking about stopping election fraud and making sure that our elections were safe and that we had the legally and lawful elected president of the United States.
I'm a big believer in super beta prostate. You'll notice less urges to urinate, and you won't be getting up at night for so many bathroom trips. I wouldn't say it if I didn't truly believe it.
Hunger is here. I'm gonna open the box, and my refrigerator is packed.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call now. Billions have been set aside for victims. You may be entitled to compensation. Call now, 1-800-998-0293. That's 1-800-998-0293.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Vibrant pops of color, soft textures, and coordinated looks. Let your personal style bloom with the Blair Spring Collection. Clothing that fits your life, body, and budget. Casual tops and tees are designed for laid-back or more lively moments. And relaxed fit pants and easy stretch jeans let you comfortably roll with whatever adventure the day may bring. Get $10 off and free shipping at Blair.com with promo code Blair10.
I have, over my 30 years, seen many patients who have excessive sweating. I recommend Carpe. It's a game changer.
Carpe is up to 3 times stronger than a regular strength antiperspirant. Try it today at mycarpe.com with limited time free shipping.
Bath Fitter is a better way to remodel your tub. Precise measuring means the perfect fit. The Bath Fitter tub-over-tub process means no mess or stress. A custom-made tub and seamless wall mean a watertight fit. Premium acrylic means it lasts a lifetime. And all this together means a great value. Bath Fitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
White police officer Derek Chauvin kneeled on the neck of a black man, George Floyd.
What happened to George Floyd was horrific, and it should not have happened. The violence that ensued obviously should not have happened.
The violence that was a result of the exploitation of that tragedy did what to America? We had cities burned. We had federal courthouses. We had churches attacked a block from the White House. We had between $2 and $3 billion worth of damage done to America. Worst of all, this movement, which called for justice for black Americans, resulted in the death of at least 40 people, half of them who were black.
We had a retired police officer who was called to go help his friend's business when the alarms were going off, and he was killed, and it was caught on video. David Dorn. Where were the protests for him? Where was the outcry for him? And instead of ensuring that these cities were safe, the governors did not send in National Guardsmen, didn't send in anybody to suppress the rioting, and they allowed the communities to burn down. In the name of social justice,
they called them peaceful protesters.
Mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly.
And then Democrats like Kamala Harris shared the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which was a bail bond link to bail out criminals that had just committed crimes and been arrested.
It seems as if in America today, one form of violence is okay.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
When it comes to media, it's like Chris Plant says here in Washington, if it weren't for double standards, they'd have no standards at all.
If Republicans were to do what Antifa had done by taking over city streets and city blocks and buildings and renaming it CHOP or Chaz or whatever name they called it at the time, the Democrats would unleash the full force of the federal government. They would never allow it.
Antifa, which is a transnational extremist movement that began in Germany, and their agenda is to impose anarchy on democratic societies, which by definition is overthrow constitutional law.
Black Lives Matter organization has some really strange values and objectives.
What's the true agenda of BLM? Look at their website. Why did the Black Lives Matter website state that one of our targets is the dismantling of the traditional nuclear family? That's what communists do. One of the saddest things for me, if you look at how COVID fits into all of this, the idea that we closed down businesses for the first time in Western history, we quarantined healthy people. We've never quarantined healthy people. You quarantine the sick, and you don't shut down businesses that are functioning.
Please stay home. Please, God, stay home.
It's very hypocritical. We're all locked down. Suddenly, please protest. riot, come out, this is appropriate.
Governor Murphy and First Lady Tammy Murphy were among the thousands of weekend protesters in New Jersey.
COVID gave an opportunity for many Democratic politicians to utilize the mail-in ballot situation.
Senator Amy Klobuchar, along with Senator Ron Wyden, are hoping to retool the voting process by allowing no excuse needed absentee vote by mail in all 50 states.
They had everybody living in such fear of this disease that, oh, you can't even leave your house. You must vote from your own home.
The idea that you exploit the fear of COVID-19 to mail out 80 million unbidden ballots is sheer insanity. Mail-in ballots have been demonstrated to be a problem in any developed nation.
COVID was exploited for political purposes, and there was an electoral objective here to push this election in one way.
Ashley was very concerned about the integrity of the election, and she very much distrusted the mainstream media.
She told me Christmas Day that she wanted to go to D.C. because they had screwed him out of this thing, and she wanted to see him talk. She never got to actually go to a rally where he was speaking. It's very important to her to be there.
I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I am non-affiliated, and so is my husband. He was concerned about the election. I think he felt that it was stolen, and I feel the same way.
We felt like the election was being stolen from us. We didn't feel like the information that we received via the media was accurate.
I'm a huge advocate for our God-given rights and the rights we have as citizens in this country, and that does not stop with a certain party line or ideology. So when election time came around and they started distributing mail-in ballots, my wife and I actually received 5 mail-in ballots for 2 people. Clearly, that could have been taken advantage of, and who knows how many times that may have happened. So that was enough for me to question the election.
So when you don't have voter ID and when you don't have any way of verifying who's actually filling out the mail-in ballot, how do you know that it was even an honest election?
There were ballots being mailed out everywhere. The system was chaotic. No one truly understood it.
The president did not have any evidence presented at all. Nothing.
When people say there was no evidence of voter fraud, courts dismissed it. No, incorrect. Courts refused to hear the evidence. Saying you refuse to hear the evidence is not an absence of evidence.
The American people were concerned with the states that we knew or believed that he should have won. What was frustrating many people is we couldn't get those Republican legislators to turn around and audit their own vote. Instead, they certified their votes and sent it on to Congress.
What we're seeing are, I'm not kidding you, tens of thousands of people here, and that's where this Trump rally begins at 9 o'clock this morning.
Bathfitter is a better way to remodel your tub. A custom-made, watertight fit and high-quality materials mean a beautiful tub and a great value. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Pop quiz. Did you know you can lose weight with a plan that fits your budget and your goals? Introducing Quick 9 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 9 pounds your first 2 weeks. You get delicious frozen meals delivered right to your door with convenient shipments at an affordable price and fast weight loss.
I'm saving money and I'm losing weight. I saw results in my first 2 weeks.
We know grocery prices are out of control. We're here to help. Order right now to lock in our special introductory offer. Get over 50% off plus free extras. Get free protein shakes, a free shaker bottle, and free shipping. That's over $40 in extra savings and can be yours when you act now.
With Nutrisystem, I'm eating healthy and I'm saving money.
The phone lines are open and reps are standing by. With Quick 9, lose up to 9 pounds your first 2 weeks. It's flexible, it's affordable, and it works. Get off to a fast start with Quick 9. Call or go online right now to get over 50% off plus free extras.
We love being outside, but the sun makes our deck and patio too hot to enjoy.
Now, thanks to our new Sunsetter retractable awning, we can select full sun or instant shade in just 60 seconds.
It's 20 degrees cooler under the Sunsetter, and we get instant protection from harmful UV rays and sun glare.
For pricing starting at less than $1,000, transform your outdoor living space into a shaded retreat your family will love. When you call, we'll rush you a special $200 discount certificate with your free awning idea kit. You'll get your sunsetter for as little as $799. But this is a limited time offer.
For over 20 years, Sunsetter has been the best-selling retractable awning in America.
Call now for this free awning idea kit, packed with great awning solutions that will let you enjoy your deck or patio much more often. Plus, get this $200 discount certificate that will bring you your sunsetter for as little as $799. But this is a limited time offer. Call now.
Sunsetters are backed with up to a 10-year limited warranty.
More than 1 million families in America own and love their sunsetter. Now you too can discover why life is better under a sunsetter. It's like putting an extension on your home. And talk about options. Choose motorized or manual. And for just a little extra, add LED lighting for evening enjoyment.
There are so many incredible styles to choose from in our free awning idea kit. Get a custom-built awning without the custom-built price.
Call now to get the whole sunsetter story. You'll get this free awning idea kit, plus a $200 discount certificate. And there's no obligation. With Sunsetter, you'll create the ultimate outdoor living space, perfect for entertaining friends. Call now for your free awning idea kit with local dealer info and $200 discount certificate. Life is better under a sunsetter. Act now and save.
Call 800-661-0875. 800-661-0875.
Make no mistake, this election was stolen from you, from me, and from the country. And not a single swing state has conducted a comprehensive audit to remove the illegal ballots. This should absolutely occur in every single contested state before the election is certified.
There's a reason that the First Amendment to the Constitution, the first most important part of our Bill of Rights, is freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. I was literally 20 feet away from my former boss, President Trump. There was a celebratory atmosphere in terms of, you go to any Trump event, and it's happy people. It is a family of people who love this nation.
President Trump clearly called for a peaceful and patriotic march. He said it out loud.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
That's not calling for violence. That's actually calling for people to use exactly what they're given by our Constitution, the freedom of speech.
The President of the United States incited today's activities, and now his supporters march toward the Capitol of the United States.
Just know it's called. She sent me the text, just saw, President speak, Don Jr., Kimberly. She was having the best day of her life.
We are now walking down the inaugural path to the Capitol building.
She got that smirk, that Ashley smirk.
Oddly enough, that's slightly comforting to me because I know that she was having a good day until she wasn't.
I actually left the hotel with a group of ladies because we wanted to get up front to watch the president's speech at the Ellipse. Chris followed shortly after with his friends, and the crowd was so enormous that they weren't able to meet up with us. The cellular service was so spotty, and we couldn't communicate. We could text once in a while. I got a message from him saying that they were heading over to the Capitol.
Ken attended the Stop the Steal rally because he was going over there to do a security detail job for Ali Alexander. He didn't get there to the Capitol, I want to say it was after 2. He wasn't yelling, nothing. He was actually singing the national anthem on the steps.
I was in Washington, D.C. January 6th. We were security for Roger Stone. So at the Ellipse, there was such a dense crowd, maybe it's projected as 1 million. It's hard to say exact numbers. We couldn't even get through the crowd to get Roger Stone to speak. So we secured him at his hotel. So we were being sent videos that were on social media already of violence taking place at the Capitol. I said, let's go see what's going on.
So we have this genius system, the Electoral College, which allows rural areas in America not to be dominated by metropolises like New York, Boston, and DC. And as such, it requires the tallying of the Electoral College votes, and that was what was expected on January the 6th.
There is a mechanism to oppose or to contest an election. A member of Congress, the House, and a United States Senator agree that they object to their state's or a state's electoral allocation, then that is allowed and a debate should ensue. When Jamie Raskin tried it in 2016, he could not get a senator to sign up.
10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified.
Debate is out of order.
You need a senator, and you need a member of the Congress, and you need it in writing. They had that.
And I felt like that was going to be quite constitutional, but that was not something that the vice president could agree to.
And then everything fell apart.
I was in the House chamber. I had no idea what was going on. We heard loud banging and loud noises here and there. I was told by people inside the chamber that people had breached the Capitol.
We had these announcements, you know, stay in place, nobody move around.
Somehow, people got in there that were not behaving well. Their behavior was aggressive, but there were many that did not.
The footage is clear. People standing outside Congress on one wing, peaceably assembled outside the barriers. Suddenly they're standing there, and the next second there are stun grenades, there are tear gas grenades going off amongst them.
There was no attempt to communicate with the crowd. They have a loudspeaker system in place to tell people to move away or disperse. There was none of that.
Where is the commander's report? Where is the officer on site who said, I saw a threat, I saw a weapon, I saw somebody being assaulted, therefore I made the decision to use those devices?
Why were they attacking the people in the back? They weren't rioting. The ones who were rioting were in a very narrow band up in the front.
Well, when you get a combination of people that are truly, genuinely concerned about this election, and then you have those that are there for nefarious reasons, and you move them together, they're taking an emotion that is heartfelt and manipulating it so that they turn around and do things that they may not have normally wanted to do.
There's a gun! There's a gun!
1 teaspoon of potassium iodide.
Checkaroo.
And then science. Oh, I think that's Carvana. Right, let's go.
Go.
Just in the amount.
Just in the amount.
Oh, let's do more. Do more, yeah. I can do more.
All in.
Yes, please. Super easy.
Whoa.
I know. I just bought a car from Carvana.
A lot can happen in a moment.
They're delivering it here.
Like finding your perfect mix of down and monthly payments.
ABS brakes.
Finance your next car with Carvana today.
Best-selling author David Horowitz has issued a grim warning. The next election could be the last. The radical left is dismantling our freedoms and imposing socialism right before our very eyes. David's blockbuster new book, Final Battle, reveals what conservatives must do to take back the White House. Now you can get this, a must-read political bombshell, absolutely free through this special offer. Read Final Battle before it's too late.
When it comes to the violence of January the 6th, we know Americans committed crimes inside that building. They broke things, they defaced things, they stole things.
Going through a police barricade or overrunning a police line is also something that is, certainly not to be encouraged. They're not supposed to be there, and we certainly don't condone that.
Why haven't you called for backup? Where is your backup? This is our damn Capitol building, and y'all are letting it get destroyed on your watch.
They're not showing is when Officers had cleared the way for people to actually enter the Capitol building and peacefully walk in.
The doors are open and you go inside. Well, what's wrong with that?
So you're thinking, well, if the cops say it's okay to come in, then who's breaking the law? Why not come in?
There were quite a number of crowds that had entered into the Capitol and literally just walked peacefully, looking around, carrying the flag.
Jacob Chansley, I've yet to see him hurting anybody or breaking anything. And at one point, he seems to be escorted, shown directions, the Senate is this way. And then he walks in and one cop is following him, not in any kind of, not in pursuit, he just seems to be his escort.
Okay, I just want to let you guys know, this is like the sacredest place.
I know, hey, no, I'm gonna take it to see God's chair.
Why was that allowed to happen?
Prevention is critical when you have over 1 million people coming to support the President of the United States. You know that tempers are high. Why were the Capitol Police so understaffed that they couldn't handle such a crowd? Why wasn't National Guard brought in? Whenever you've had large protests in this city before, we've had the National Guard presence, and that is where the failure of the government almost enabled this, almost encouraged this to happen.
But I was so against what was happening. This is not who we are. We don't do this. We're working very hard to object. They swept Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence out, and I was scared. I've never been through anything like that.
There was one law enforcement agent, and he said, "We're trying to get our guys out."
Yeah, I need to get the other officers out. Oh, you need to get they're trying to get out. I can do that. Let's go.
We're like, all right, well, we're going to help them. We enter the doors of the Capitol, and there's a whole bunch of the riot police stuck in the rotunda in this very narrow doorway, and hundreds of people are pushing from behind and forcing forward. And there was so much pressure, I really couldn't even take a breath. Through a path that we helped create, leading law enforcement to safety, we assisted law enforcement get out of the building. Other than that, I would have never gone in the building.
Ken got stuck in a group of people and they walked in, the Capitol doors were already open. There was no officers around him. Went to the rotunda, took pictures. I know that they were helping a Capitol officer from getting harmed, and it's being turned around on them.
So I wasn't sure really what was happening. I could see individuals scaling the walls. Seemed like a lot of chaos. Chris grabbed a lady that was pepper sprayed and was trying to help her out and remove her from the scene so that she wasn't harmed.
Standing in front of the doors to the speaker's lobby, you got Capitol Police. Then they move around to the wall out of the way of the doors, and that's when a couple of guys broke the 2 windows, in essence helped Ashley Babbitt stick her head through, and you can see the guy's gun over the side waiting for somebody to come through.
She was executed, she was assassinated, she was murdered. She didn't see it coming. She didn't hear it coming. He had a mask on. She's not on a suicide mission. She knows the use of force continuum very well. From being a military police officer, if she even knew for a split second that that use of force continuum had been started, done, out, see you later.
In the Army training I got, that was called an ambush, and you got to kill them quickly because otherwise they'll kill you. But she was unarmed. There was no indication, no weapons.
When you look at the disciplinary history of this particular officer who left a gun somewhere and who's had other disciplinary problems on the force, then you've got to think it very well could be the police officer's fault. I've never heard this in another police incident where a police officer shoots and kills someone and his name's kept secret for months.
And when you're at this door, it's hard to see what's on the other side, but you're hearing things.
It's impossible for me to see what's on the other side because we had created such a barricade.
Did you know who you shot?
I had no clue. I didn't even know it was a female until hours way later.
When he's walking around the chamber, he's flagging everybody. Everybody with his finger on the trigger. There might as well be a forever laser at the end of this thing that's gonna cut you in half if I flag you with it. He's a bad cop.
I have been told she was not rendered aid in a timely fashion. I heard that her body was treated less than respectfully.
We couldn't leave the chamber at the time, and then a little while later, they organized enough to take us out. We spent a long time going through stairwells and tunnels and hallways. They were trying to find a safe place to put us where we could wait until they cleared the Capitol.
Police are stepping up their efforts to clear the Capitol building. That's what you're seeing right now.
We were delayed 4 or 6 hours, whatever it was, before we came back into session. We finished the process. The vote was certified. You know, okay, that means Joe Biden will be sworn in as the next president.
And I believe that the violence, the chaos, had an effect on Mike Pence, had an effect on the debate, and they just wrapped it up. It scared them. I wanted a full, honest debate. I wanted this push to the constitutional max. There were alternatives, there were remedies, and none of it in the end happened.
What is it about Cindy Crawford?
For decades, she's mesmerized us with her timeless beauty.
And the press exclaims, she still has us enthralled.
The secret to Cindy's surprisingly ageless skin is Meaningful Beauty Supreme, created by French anti-aging specialist Dr. Jean-Louis Sabat.
Dr. Sabat has been hailed as an anti-aging guru and a skin magician.
His youth-preserving formulas come from a genetically unique melon found only in the south of France, with an astonishing youth-preserving enzyme known as the youth molecule that's kept Cindy's skin looking so youthful.
Just watch as an ordinary melon wrinkles, ages, and decays,
while the remarkable melon containing the youth molecule on the right stays fresh and firm.
I'm about to turn 50, and people absolutely can't believe it. They say there's no way. There's no way.
Everything we do for Meaningful Beauty is like, how is this going to help a woman feel better about her skin, give her more confidence? And that's what today's about, just sharing all that. So I'm headed to the mall today, and we're doing a pop-up event for new Meaningful Beauty Supreme, and it should be a lot of fun. So what brought you here today?
Well, I've been using Meaningful Beauty for almost 2 years.
Great.
I just had these dark bags, and after 4 pregnancies, the pigmentation
Wow,
was
you
just...
would never know by looking at you.
Well, that is because of your products.
We want to keep on the forefront, and I think Dr. Sabat especially is excited about all the new technology he can put into the product. I started Meaningful Beauty so that I would have something to use at home. See how there's those little microbeads in there?
Yeah.
That is keeping the ingredients fresh. But over time, you'll see visible improvement in the tightness of your skin. Your skin, it doesn't just look younger, it acts younger, feels younger. You know what, it was so fun today just seeing like the variety of women, the ages, the skin types, the skin colors, and just meeting real customers getting results with Meaningful Beauty. I love that.
Now, it's time to experience Meaningful Beauty Supreme for yourself. You'll start with Cindy's must-have skin softening cleanser.
Then, our luminous anti-aging day cream with Dr. Sabat's youth molecule for daily protection from sun, pollution, and blue light from smartphones.
Next, Cindy's advanced lifting eye cream that visibly reduces puffiness, dark circles, and crow's feet.
Then, let the rejuvenation begin with Dr. Sabat's incredible age recovery night cream, featuring the twin power of the youth molecule and retinol.
And now, Dr. Sabat brings you the astonishing youth-activating melon serum.
This next-generation serum taps the power of melon leaf plant stem cells.
Encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support natural collagen and elastin production.
Stem cells are the core of the power of the melon. It's like we are bringing you the quintessential vitality of the melon. All its anti-aging power and magic right to your skin.
His clients often pay thousands of dollars for a series of treatments.
That's why when purchased separately, Meaningful Beauty's regular price of $139 is already an incredible bargain. But Cindy decided to offer Meaningful Beauty directly to you through TV, so she could make her secret affordable for everyone.
You won't have to pay $139 for Meaningful Beauty, not $99 or even $79.
Order now, and you'll pay just $59.95 for all 5 concentrated super treatments. And be among the first 500 orders right now, and we'll add Cindy's new Glow and Go Trio. Over $80 worth of bonus extras free. First, the sensational glowing serum, Cindy's celebrity secret to an instant red carpet ready glow. Next, the amazing triple exfoliating treatment to reveal younger looking skin.
And Dr. Sabah's famous ultra lifting and filling treatment.
It works to instantly fill in and plump up wrinkles for a smoother, younger look.
And when you act quickly and use promo code SAVE10 before it expires, we'll drop an additional $10 off our already low price.
So you won't pay $59.95, but just $49.95 for everything you see here. That's an astonishing $210 value for just $49.95.
We'll even add free shipping. And it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Call or go online now and treat yourself to Meaningful Beauty Supreme.
That's why I'm so passionate about Meaningful Beauty, because I'm able to share with women everywhere.
This TV-only offer is not available in any store. So call 1-800-967-1534 or go to meaningfulbeauty.com right now.
I have, over my 30 years, seen many patients who have excessive sweating. I recommend Carpe. It's a game changer.
Carpe is up to 3 times stronger than a regular strength antiperspirant. Try it today at mycarpe.com with limited time free shipping.
Men, how many bathroom trips are you making each day? Try Super Beta Prostate Advanced, the #1 selling formula in its category. Made with Prostafend, a triple action blend to help reduce urges to urinate. Find it at Walmart or these retailers.
Hungry Root is here. I'm gonna open the box, and my refrigerator is packed.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call now. Billions have been set aside for victims. You may be entitled to compensation. Call now, 1-800-998-0293. That's 1-800-998-0293.
It's been 4 months, almost to the day, since the mob of MAGA insurrectionists laid siege to our nation's capital.
Insurrection.
Insurrection.
January 6th, our temple of democracy was attacked by insurrectionists.
The mainstream media ran with the word insurrection, which gives the impression that we were having a violent revolution right here in the city of Washington, D.C., when in fact nobody was caught with firearms, no shots were fired, other than the shot that was fired against Ashley Babbitt.
An insurrection is an organized attempt to overthrow a government. Well, number one, it wasn't organized, and number two, they weren't trying to overthrow a government. I mean, they were mad about an election.
We didn't have tanks in the street. We didn't have people going through shooting people that were in Congress.
If it was really an insurrection, why has the Biden administration, to this day, not charged anyone with insurrection?
You had people get out of control, and you have people that need to be held accountable for those acts of violence that they did commit.
The FBI even determined that this was not coordinated, this was not planned, this was not an insurrection, this was an event that got out of hand. What BLM and Antifa did is actually much more akin to insurrection than anything that happened on January 6th. I mean, their stated mission, and Antifa wants to destroy the system. BLM, to a lesser extent, wants to dismantle the culture as we know it.
When you have Portland, Seattle, when you have, courthouses being firebombed, when you have over 1,000 law enforcement officers wounded, people killed, that's an insurrection.
President Trump's second impeachment, a total farce. We're going to impeach over his speech.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
As if that meant go break doors at the Capitol. Of course not.
On January 6th, Capitol Police were put in a situation where they were going to fail no matter what. 10,000 National Guard troops is how many President Trump requested.
You don't have to know anything about policing to know that the security was totally inadequate.
And that was because Nancy Pelosi failed and she turned down the request for the National Guard to be there.
There are reports that there were people that were out in that audience that encouraged, supported, tried to incite people.
We need to go into the Capitol! Into the Capitol! Peacefully! Zed!
I want to know what FBI agents were there. Were they there? Were they not there?
There's footage of people changing their clothes outside the Congress. I thought these were MAGA supporters coming from the president's rally. What is a Black Lives Matter self-confessed revolutionary doing filming Ashley Babbitt's homicide?
She got shot in the neck? Yeah, I saw her bleeding out. I got it all.
Why have 40,000 hours of CCTV footage from the Capitol still under lock and key? These are the questions we still don't have answers for.
The U.S. Capitol is under lockdown after violent mobs stormed the building.
We had this situation for months and months and months where Washington, D.C. looked like Checkpoint Charlie.
Military personnel, regular units, and National Guard units brought in from states all around the country to supposedly protect the Capitol. None of them were armed with any ammunition. Their weapons were all for show.
But it's all part of continuing the narrative, how dangerous the Republicans are, how dangerous it is in Washington because of these conservatives. It's all a political game to them, but it could come at the cost of our country.
Ma'am, can you come on out?
Ken was arrested on March 10th. He was doing yard work. I went to the door. The FBI agent pointed a rifle at me. My husband's in handcuffs.
We're going to conduct a search warrant. We're going to talk to your husband. We can make it easy, and he can just tell us what we're looking for.
They took my ham radios, that's my emergency radios, for hurricane season, and then they took my kids' toys. They didn't take the weapons. What kind of investigation is this?
I was awoken by flashbangs that were being deployed into my yard, and the FBI screaming and yelling at me from the front of my house. I immediately got up, ran to the front door, opened the door, and I had lots of guns aimed at me and red dots all over me. It was quite scary. Chris was not even home that day. He was on a camping trip. Once Chris got home, then he came inside, was able to hand me his wallet and keys. At that point, they handcuffed him.
The owner of a tattoo parlor in Orange County is now under arrest, accused of taking part in the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
I was getting in-person death threats in my business. One day I get a call and the shop is just trashed. We boarded up the windows at the shop, and within 5 minutes, the words FBI was the first thing I heard as 5 or 6 individuals came in the business. Full force FBI raid and dragged me off to the station.
I still try and tell myself every morning when I wake up it was a bad dream. You know, there's that moment of coming to consciousness. Like you wake up and you come into yourself where you have to make yourself aware of it every day.
I mean, my world has been ripped away from me. To have somebody that you're with all the time, to kiss her goodbye on the 5th, and to never see her again after that, just gone, wiped away from your life. I don't know. I haven't come to terms with it yet. I can't. If I do, I'm done.
It's been life-altering, unbearable, really. Try to remember the good times. Try to remember Ashley's spirit. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what our whole family's trying to do. Just get through this, and hopefully someday it won't be so painful.
I have patients who think they've tried everything for their sweat. That's when I recommend Carpe. Carpe specializes in effective sweat solutions at an affordable price.
Nothing worked until I found Carpe.
This makes my life so much less slippery.
Get dry today with limited time free shipping at mycarpe.com.
Parents, you may have heard from your kids that the Earth is soon going to be an uninhabitable hellscape. Well, that's because some of their teachers and the media have an agenda. But is it really what kids should actually be learning? It's why my team created the new Kids Guide to the Truth about climate change. It answers your child's toughest climate questions, and you can have it for free.
To order this free bundle, visit kidsclimatetruth.com. That's kidsclimatetruth.com.
This new one looks pretty good.
Really? Did you know Ron DeSantis backed deep cuts to Social Security and Medicare?
Ron DeSantis?
Yeah, he voted to cut Social Security or Medicare not once, not twice, but 3 times. DeSantis even tried to raise the retirement age to 70.
I thought DeSantis was one of the good ones, but he's just another career politician.
America needs Trump. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Should Viagra really cost $90? We don't think so. RexMD.com has FDA-approved generic Viagra at 90% off with free shipping. Want to know what other guys are saying about RexMD.com?
This was my first time using telemedicine, and I'd recommend this process to anyone. I couldn't be happier with the product.
Visit RexMD.com and fill out a brief survey. If appropriate, you can try generic Viagra for 90% off. Your consultation is free, there's no copays, and no doctor office visits. Go to RexMD.com to get started right now.
Hey, Mom, if I could talk, what would I tell you? I'd tell you I love our walks and jumping up to play. We do everything together, huh, Mom? I guess what I really want to say is thanks for giving me Cosequin all these years so I can stay right by your side.
Keep 'em moving with Cosequin Joint Health Supplements, the #1 vet-recommended retail brand and official joint health supplement of the Westminster Dog Show.
Everything I worked for.
Foreman goes down!
It's gone. I thought he was dead. I was.
Being George Foreman is the inspiring movie event of the year.
I'm not going to box anymore. I'm going to follow God.
How's being a preacher going?
It's hard.
A 5-star film.
The bank will have to repossess the property.
A great American story.
There's only 2 things I know how to do. And preaching won't pay the bills.
God's gonna lift you up in that ring, so you'll lift him up in front of millions.
Being George Foreman, rated PG-13, now playing.
Vibrant pops of color, soft textures, and coordinated looks. Let your personal style bloom with the Blair Spring Collection. Clothing that fits your life, body, and budget. Casual tops and tees are designed for laid-back or more lively moments. And relaxed fit pants and easy stretch jeans let you comfortably roll with whatever adventure the day may bring. Get $10 off and free shipping at Blair.com with promo code Blair10.
This country was made by tax rebels, freedom fighters, gold seekers, believers, lovers, and true patriots. We're Newsmax, and we're their heirs, and so are you. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.
When it comes to those who are arrested and imprisoned after January the 6th, if you're accused of something, whether you're guilty, or more importantly, if you're innocent, you must have access to justice swiftly.
The January 6 defendants, these people are being held in there for months. They were held in solitary confinement for 23 hours and only let out 1 hour at a time if they ever got out.
If they see their lawyer, then they're quarantined for 2 weeks, and really it's punishment for demanding to see a lawyer.
They're being denied religious services. They're being denied medical care. They're being denied their basic human rights, and they haven't even been on trial yet.
Some of these people did not hurt anybody, did not break anything. What they're doing to the January 6ers seems like a crime.
The mainstream media is categorically going after all of the J6ers as extremists.
American domestic terrorists going after the Capitol.
January 6th was worse than 9/11.
They should be treated as they're a bunch of thugs, insurrectionists, white supremacists, anti-Semites, and they're terrorists, domestic terrorists.
I worked my way for months to go in and see what was happening to these people.
And we walked in, they saw us and instantly started cheering. They said we didn't think we'd ever get to see anybody that cared about us.
They all told us stories about being called white supremacists, being beaten. The guards treat them terribly. They don't have working toilets. There's black mold growing everywhere. But these men that are being held there are being treated like political prisoners of war. They're being treated worse than terrorists at Gitmo.
There was a political climate being whipped up long before January 6th, an attempt to storm the White House with that crazed mob at Lafayette Park that forced the president down into the nuclear bunker for his own safety. And that was okay with these liberal lawmakers.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Pelosi and others, they were praising those guys who essentially took over the Wisconsin state capitol.
June 13th of 2016, Democrats obstructed a session of Congress for about 26 hours. It's on January 6th. These guys obstructed Congress for 6 hours, and they've been in jail for 10 months. Then should we address the 26 hours of all those Democrats? That was also a federal felony.
If they agree with your politics, if they agree with your values, they'll sanction, approve your tactics. The January 6th protesters are being used as pawns.
Ken, he is still incarcerated in D.C. Since he's been arrested, he has not been treated very well. And one time he complained of chest pains. He got put in a hole for 8 days.
Since Chris was incarcerated for 8 months, we lost some valuable time with his cancer treatments. The meds that he was on were working. They kept it at bay. But as soon as he was incarcerated on March 12th, he had no access to anything, no medications. His cancer is developed into stage 3. So the judge finally issued a release and held the jail in contempt of court for not giving him his meds that he needed.
Prosecutor was absolutely hell-bent on having me detained until trial. So the judge said, you know, so you're telling me there's no evidence of this man being violent? And no, there's not. So I was bailed out.
I got a phone call. I can't remember when it was, but it was from Mortuary Affairs in Dover telling me that they were denying Ashley military honors at her funeral due to her actions at the Capitol. They didn't even know what the hell she was doing there. She wrote blank checks all the time with her life to go over there and fight.
I really am against how the January 6th defendants are being treated.
There should be equal treatment under the Constitution.
But that's not what's happening in our country, and it hasn't been happening since January 6th.
Ken is looking at 38 years. We get VA benefits. That is what's paying for our house and our truck note. If he's convicted, I will lose it. I'm very concerned on what is going to be the outcome for us.
Chris should never have had to go through any of this, be incarcerated, beaten and abused. We've lost our jobs, we've lost friends and family. We no longer have health insurance, which is vital in this situation we're in. It's not something that I wanted or would have expected to come out of attending a rally.
So I'm currently charged with entering restricted grounds, conspiracy, and interfering with an official proceeding. The charges? Frightening. I've been without representation for a month or so. We need some lawyers that are going to really help here. There's so much on the line.
Ashley's funeral, we did have some, wonderful, upstanding gentlemen do a flag ceremony for her, and we had a bagpiper there, and sadly special. I don't know how you say that. We took her off of our town, Ocean Beach, out in the Pacific. Every time I go down the beach now, I get in the water. I realize I'm swimming with Ashley.
I want Ashley to be remembered the way she was, full of love, full of life, full of promise. Make no mistake, I'm proud to be Ashley Elizabeth Babbitt's mother.
On January 6th, about 1 million people showed up because they were extremely upset with the outcome of the election.
I wish that day had gone differently. I wish everything remained peaceful.
This was a trespassing incident that got out of hand. There was no coordination, there was no prior planning, there were no weapons.
We're all Americans, and none of us should be afraid of our government.
This is an attempt to criminalize conservatives.
The media only cares about the message and the propaganda that they sell across America every single day. They don't care about the truth.
Just because some talking head calls it an insurrection, or some politician says it is, doesn't mean it's one, unless there's a campaign to make it look like one.
The civil and human rights of the January 6 protesters being violated.
The Democrats want to destroy President Trump, and those January 6 defendants, they're a pawn in their political game.
This is the biggest crackdown on freedom of speech in the history of our constitutional republic.
Those involved must be held accountable, and there is no higher priority for us at the Department of Justice.
We're in the DC DOC correctional facility. Psychologically damaging, torturous, and inhumane here.
It's been over 17 months since my kids have seen their dad.
If they put me in prison,